Hi everyone, my name is Grace and welcome to Get Your Play Online. For science today, we are going to be creating some air blaster vortex cannons, which can look like this, and we're going to be learning all about them. So first, you'll need to gather all of your materials. And so for today, you're going to need an empty and kind of sturdy water bottle or kind of plastic bottle. I'm actually using a coffee creamer bottle, but it could be a Gatorade bottle or just a water bottle that's a little sturdier. You'll need one balloon that's not blown up, so just like this. You'll need some paint. Today I'm going to be using two types of blues, and then some paint brushes for your paint. A paper plate to put your paint on, or if you have a paint palette like I do, you can use that as well. And then you can use a hairdryer to dry your paint a little bit faster, but you don't have to. And then some cotton balls. And then dominoes are also optional. And then you want to make sure that your table that you're making your activity on is protected. So if you want to put down some newspaper or paper towels, or if you have a tray for painting, that would work well. So before we get started, you want to make sure again that you have a table to do this and that it is protected. And then also, if you don't have paint, you can use construction paper and glue or stickers to decorate your air blaster vortex cannon. You don't have to use paint. And then lastly, before we get started, there's some safety precautions that I want to go over. So we're going to be cutting plastic with scissors, so you need to be careful when using scissors, or ask your parents for help or your caregiver, and make sure that they're watching you just so that we can be safe. You want to make sure when you're cutting the plastic water bottle that your eyes are safe and protected, so wearing glasses, and doing it in an open space. And then if we're using a hairdryer, we need to be careful when plugging it in, and probably asking our adult for help. So let's get started. So first what you'll need, you're gonna grab your empty water bottle and you make sure that it's all clean. So we're gonna set that aside. But again, also before we get started, so I have a little riddle. So here it goes. I am everywhere, but you don't see me. What am I? So if you have an answer to this, you can go ahead and put it in the comment section. I'll give you some time to think about it. Again, the riddle is, I am everywhere, but you don't see me. What am I? So it's a riddle, so guess in the comments and we'll see if anyone is right. But for now, so the answer is actually air. Air is all around us, and even though we aren't able to see it, there are ways that we can tell that it's around us. So like if you're outside and you hear the wind through the trees, that's the air blowing. Or, we breathe in air, so we know that it's there. But today we're going to make an air blaster vortex cannon and learn what a vortex cannon is and how the air works with it. So to get started, we are going to take our empty water bottle and screw the top off. So here's mine, and I'm just going to take the top off. Oops. Like so. And then we're going to use our scissors. These are mine. And we're going to carefully cut off the bottom part of the water bottle. So when I say bottom, I mean this part. This is the top where the cap just came off, and then this is the bottom. And we're going to cut about maybe like an inch, so maybe to like the first line or so. And remember, we need to be really careful when we're doing this so that we don't hurt ourselves. So go ahead and cut it. Go all the way around. You just want to take off that little part of the bottom. There we go. And remember, we're cutting plastic, so it can kind of get a little sharp. So just make sure that you're being careful and asking an adult for help. So now that we've cut off the bottom, so now we have two open ends, we are going to grab our balloon, and we're actually going to cut a part of this off as well. So what you need to do is you're going to cut off the top of the neck of the balloon. So this right here, we're going to cut right here, right at the base of the neck, just like this. So but you cut it off and you have two pieces. So you'll just need to save the bigger piece. So now we should have a larger circle at the bottom of the balloon. So next what we're going to do, and this part's a little tricky, you may need to ask a friend or a parent or a sibling for help for this, but we're going to put our balloon that we just cut onto our water bottle on the bottom that we had just cut. So one way you can do this if you're doing it by yourself, you can place the water bottle between your knees and hold it there tightly so you can use both of your hands to put it over, or you can ask a friend for help. And make sure we're being really safe when we do this. I'm going to put it in between my knees. Let's see if you can see. Kind of, let's see, here we go. And you're going to take it and you're going to spread the balloon apart and you're going to wrap it around the top so that it's like this. So you want to open it up and wrap it around the top so it kind of closes it in. And make sure that it's nice and snug. And this is why we need a sturdy water bottle, because the balloon can get tight and we need to make sure that the plastic doesn't bend when we do it. So after you get that, and it might take you a little while and a couple of tries, and that's okay. So after we do this, we should have the side that the cap goes on, that should be open, and the bottom, the bigger side, should have the balloon over it. And so after we do this, it's time to decorate our Air Blaster Vortex cannon. You can use paint or construction paper or stickers or anything that you want to decorate it with. This is your opportunity to make your Air Blaster Vortex cannon as decorated and creative as you want it to be. So I'm going to take some time. I'm going to pour out some dark blue paint into my paint palette. So we'll just squirt a little bit. And then I'm also going to put this, I guess it's more like a green color. I'm going to put that into my paint palette as well. Just a little bit, because you can always add more paint. Then I'm going to use my paintbrush. I'm going to dip it into the paint. And then we're just going to paint all around. Mine's a little clear, so we might have to do a couple coats of paint for this. So just be creative and paint it how you want. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Just go all the way around and decorate it. And switch up the colors and do the blue now, or the, I guess it's more green. So maybe while you're decorating, you can think about how an Air Blaster Vortex cannon works. We're actually going to talk about that later, but you can start thinking about it now. Maybe what it could be used for, or why it was invented, maybe when it was invented. If you have any guesses, you can put them in the comments. Just go all the way around, making it as pretty as you would like. And today I'm only using 2 colors, but you can use lots of different colors. And stickers or ribbons, really anything. But once I get it all the way around and painted, after we paint it, I'm going to use a hair dryer to dry the paint. You can do that, or you can just set it aside and let it dry for 30 minutes to an hour and then come back to it. But I'm going to use a hair dryer so that it dries a little quicker so that y'all can see all the steps today. Alright. So now that it is painted all the way, let's see. This is my base color. I think I'm going to do some polka dots after this. I gotta dry it first. So set that down. I'm going to turn on my hair dryer, so it might be a little loud, so just as a warning. So now it is pretty dry. I'm gonna add another color. I decided I want a different color for my polka dots. I'm gonna match my balloon, so I'm gonna do pink. Shake it up, add it to my palette. Oh, whoops. Dropped a little bit of paint. That's why we have protection down. Wipe it up. Okay, so now I'm gonna use a different brush for my polka dots, but again, we'll just dip it in the paint and we'll do some dots. Maybe in the comments y'all can share either pictures of your product at the end or comment how you decorated yours. So I'm going to go all the way around with these pink polka dots. They can be big or small. Ooh, that's a big one. Let's see. I'll do one more right here. All right. So now that I did my polka dots and they're all the way around, I'm going to use my hairdryer again, so just be aware it might get a little loud. Right. So mine is dry, and again, if you're going to use a hair dryer to dry yours, make sure that you have parental supervision, that you're really careful with it, because hair dryers can get hot and they are using electricity, so we just have to be super duper careful. So next, what we're going to do is before we test it out, because this is actually the final product of our air blaster cannon, we're going to talk a little bit about it. So why do you think air blaster cannons work? If you want, you can leave a comment in the comment section to let me know why you think they work. What do they do? And we'll see. I'll give you a little bit of time to think about it, and then I'll share the answer with you. All right. So an air blaster works because we're creating donut-shaped air vortices, which we're not able to see because air is invisible to us, like we talked about with the riddle at the beginning. So what it looks like, it'd be like if we blew bubbles, but there was a hole in the middle of the bubble that it looked like a donut. And instead of bubbles, so instead of soap, it's just air. And the reason that it makes the shape is because when we're using our air blaster vortex cannon, when it pushes out the air is moving really fast in a circle, and so it makes this donut shape, which is called a vortex. And so the super small air particles are being pushed around us in a circular motion, and then they're able to push things because they're moving so fast. And so in our case, we are able to push around light objects like cotton balls, And you can even push around papers if you want to try that too. So can anyone take a guess of when the air blaster vortex cannon was invented? So what year do you think an air blaster vortex cannon was created? So if you put your answer in the comments, here is the actual answer. The first air vortex cannon, which was called a Wham-O air blaster, was invented in 1965. That was 56 years ago. Isn't that really cool? So 56 years ago, something very similar to this was created, and they knew that the air was moving so fast in a circular motion that it could move things, and that you can feel them, and that is, you can feel the air. So we're going to test ours out, and we're going to start off simple. So first, before we even use any object or push around any object with the air, we're just going to test it out. So the way that you work it is you take your balloon and you pull and then you let go. And there's going to be a little popping sound. And so you want to pull and then let it go. And that pushes air really fast out of this end, and so it can move things. So we'll try it out a couple more times. So pull and then let go. And if you want, you can maybe even test it out on your legs so that you can feel the air. So you'll pull it back and let it go. And you should be able to feel air being pushed out at a really fast speed. So we're actually going to use a cotton ball to see how this works. So instead of feeling it, we're going to see it with our eyes. Push this back. All right, I'm going to tilt my screen down. All right, so here is my cotton ball, and I'm going to put the end of my air blaster vortex cannon close to it, pull back the balloon, and shoot it off. And so you should be able to push things with it. So we're going to try again. Let me scoot it back so y'all can see everything. All right. There we go. All right. Let's see. There. All right. Here it goes. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So once you do it a couple times with the cotton ball, you can kind of up your level. So you could maybe do a stack of papers and see if you can blow them from the floor. And then if you want to get really creative, you can use dominoes and stack them up in front of each other, and then pull back the balloon and let it go and see if the air knocks over the dominoes. So you can keep going and increasing your levels to see what your air vortex cannon can push with the air. So that is it today for science. I had a lot of fun creating this air blaster vortex cannon with you guys and learning all about them and why they work. And even though we can't see air, learning about one of the cool things that it can do. So maybe next time if you're outside listening, you can hear the breeze, and that's air, and just think of your air blaster vortex cannon and how it works. So just want to make sure that you're always safe when creating this and when you're playing with it. You don't want to get too close to people's faces when you're using it. And you want to make sure that you have some space around you when you're using it to blast off cotton balls or when you are blasting off paper or anything like that. So I hope you had so much fun with me today, and I hope you have so much fun playing with your air blaster vortex cannons. I'm going to drop a picture of the final project and a flyer with all the materials that you need in the comments. I hope that you learned a lot and that you had fun. So make sure you're always safe with your air blaster vortex cannon, and thanks for watching. I hope you come back and join us for the wellness activity at 3 p.m. Thanks, guys.